The first, I have number one, a resolution recognizing Earth Day in Niskuna for April 27th. We just traditionally do an Earth Day resolution if we can tie it into a tree planting. Our Arbor Day is Arbor Day and Earth Day come along at the same time, but we do have people who are interested in Earth Day, and so we could have a ceremonial resolution and try and tie it into a good environmental deed for that month. 2 through 6 are seeker reviews of our grant projects. The CAC took a thorough review at some of the grants that we've been working on. So the River Road Park 1 improvements, they just wanted to limit their recommendation to phase 1. That does not include the lighting, so they can get another crack at the lighting once we get a lighting plan. Aqueduct Park bathroom, Upper Union Street improvements, which is that crosswalk between St. Catherine and Brookdale. And the critical pedestrian crossings, which is repaving the bike path from basically like Botanic Park all the way to Aqueduct Park, and adding some high visibility crosswalks across River Road. And
So Laura, that's where you're going to do the St. Joseph? Are you going to do St. Joseph's
in
at
there.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my question about that. Thank you.
And also build a sidewalk there's one segment on Knott Street that's missing a sidewalk. So we would build a sidewalk on the Niskuna side of that block and work with.
Is that Regent Street? Is that what?
It's between Lexington and Baker. I'm pretty sure it's Lexington and Baker.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll have to work with the city of Schenectady to do their side, but our side is like more steep and probably needs a retaining wall, and their side is pretty flat. So I've had some preliminary conversation with them. I think if we get ours in, they'll get theirs in, and then we'll finally have a continuous sidewalk from Niskuna all the way to Ellis.
Okay. Do you have a list of these projects that are on the pedestrian crossings that you could send to us so we could just take a look at them
Sure,
and have
yeah,
them? Because people are interested in these things and ask us from time to time when they see us in the community.
Yeah, I also, I've been putting the CAC packets online, so actually anybody can go online and just look at what they looked at when they were reviewing the seeker, which is the list, but I can definitely email it to the board, but it's available to everyone to see.
Right. Yeah, just a quick list. Thank you.
So they just had a couple of, suggestions with their environmental quality review, and all that stuff can be forwarded to you so that you could take action on seeker at the end of this month on those projects. Number 7 is a resolution appointing Jean Fogarty as account clerk. Jean took her account clerk test, I think actually in November of 2018. We got the results. She's in the top 3 for the town of Niskuna, and she does a fabulous job. She's very good with people. She's very good with taking over when Linda's not there. She's very good at doing the minutes. She's my main minutes person, and I could really use her for some more hours. So if we appoint her account clerk, we can get her up to like maybe 25, and that would be very helpful for my department.
25 hours a week.
25 hours a week. She's currently 17 and a half. Number 8 is a resolution to appoint Lauren Legrisi Brown to the Complete Streets Committee. Believe she expressed interest as supervisor. I sent you guys her resume. Pretty much always looking for bodies on Complete Streets. These were building.
Laura, I don't think everybody got her
I didn't
resume.
get a
Oh,
resume.
you didn't get it?
No, I think it was
Oh,
just
you know
in the
what?
committee.
Yeah, it's my committee.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had it at the committee on last Friday.
sorry about that. I just sent that to my committee. Okay, so I email everybody her resume. We're gearing up for our Biking on the Boulevard event, which was a grant we got from CDTC to do a pop-up bike lane, very temporary, on Grand Boulevard. And so we can definitely use people to help.
What's the date on that?
I wish Jeff was here because he knows all those things, but I believe it's like June 22nd, maybe. It's right when school is ending.
Okay, thank you.
Number 9 is a resolution to further define the duties of the town historian and to authorize the creation of the town historical committee. We had Dennis Brennan come to the Economic Development Committee meeting. He's happy to work with us on figuring out just the tweaks to the resolution that we talked about at the last town board meeting. Just defining how he could oversee the historical committee and then do reports to you guys and just make sure that have the lawyers look at everything and So I think just a little more time to make that better. And we're going to work with him and get everybody on the same page and then have a nice resolution for you guys at the end of the month. And tentative, number 10, is a resolution to create an architectural review board. We are not going to rush this, even though we don't want to miss the building season, but we do want to make sure that the planning board has reviewed the language, that it makes sense. We get public comments on it fairly regularly at the planning board, so we'll make sure that you've seen that language in enough time, and if not, then we'll just move it on to the next meeting.
So last night at planning board, it seemed that there was some conversation about it. And the concern, a privilege of the floor, was that people would be self-dealing by being part of this, is what I heard. Because, we're very
Well,
concerned about that.
we actually, even in the original proposal that we showed you guys, we have something in there that basically says, actually, because we had several concerns. One, that people on the board would be doing work for the people who are coming, like free, and that would be taking away from work that people should be paid for in the community. And so we had put a provision that under no circumstances can anybody on that board basically, do any of that work.
Right, and you discussed that last
Yeah.
night, right? So if we're reading about it somewhere else later, you did, I know.
Yeah, that was in there from the very
David,
beginning.
I was used to
Yeah.
stole the words right out of my
Yeah.
mouth. David, every time he has presented on this, has said that exact thing.
Yeah.
Yet I know it came up again last night, so.
Yeah, it did. But that's been in that resolution forever. We have heard that, and we can continue to make it stronger if need be. But that's definitely not the intent of the Architectural Review Board. So 11 is a resolution awarding contract for aqueduct bathrooms. I don't think this will be ready. I keep hoping, so I keep putting it on here for tentative, and I apologize for that. But we are working to get our engineer on that project to build the RFP documents. He's been assisting us with some other things that were a little more time critical. So hopefully we'll have that for May. It's already May. Bit scary, but I was going to sub that in. Denise brought up at finance that we are putting an RFP out for the engineering at River Road Park. So probably less tentative would be awarding a contract, depending on how much it costs, for a River Road engineer. Which it all helps. We're putting bathrooms in all these parks. It's all connected. So changing that to RFP for engineering on River Road Park, I think probably makes a lot of sense.
And you're going to get those
Okay.
out this week?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
And we do have an extra week, which is nice.
I know.
Very excited about that.
We have an extra week.
Yes, we do. And number 12 is a resolution to enter into a software contract for the IPS fire inspection module. That's also tentative, but we're just exploring some options right now to help us keep track of our fire inspections. Speaking of expensive software, that's in the $15,000 range, so. Does anybody have any questions?
Thanks, Laura. Okay, Matt Yetto.
Number 13 is a resolution to appoint a transfer station attendant. We're currently back down to one attendant who had a health issue with our lead attendant down there. And we have an ad in the paper. We'll be in for the rest of this week. And we're going to be actively seeking out someone to help us out and to hopefully have more than just one additional guy, just so we have some backup in case something happens to someone else.
So are you looking to hire two total?
If I get two, we'll hire two, and the hours would be, they would rotate the hours around. It's just to have an extra guy just in case someone wants to take a day off. Right now, ideally, you want two people there. We have one there now, and if we get one person, then just having one spare wouldn't put us in a good position. I'd like to be ahead of the game. So if there's anyone that has any interest in working at a transfer station,
Yeah.
we're eager for applications. 14 is a resolution to appoint a water and sewer maintenance worker 2. We have an opening that was left when one of our guys took a job at the Arsenal. So I'd like to move someone who is a very valuable employee, currently working for the water and sewer department, from a water and sewer 1 to the water and sewer 2 position. We're having trouble keeping guys, and I like to keep people moving forward. If they show that they're valuable, I want to reward them. 15 is a resolution to appoint a water and sewer maintenance worker, actually up to 3. We made some changes to the way we advertise on the webpage, and it helped with the number of applications we received. Right now, I have 3 good applicants, and I still have a couple more interviews this week. If everything goes well, I would like the 3 that I've interviewed so far, I'm happy with. But if someone else comes in that's better than the other 3, we'll have to make a decision. But right now, we are currently down 3 bodies, so it's not just 1, as it says on here, it's 3.
Okay.
And are these jobs listed through the county?
Yes, there's civil service.
Do you have to be a Niskuna resident for these positions?
No, you don't.
You don't, just in the
Non-competitive,
count?
yeah.
Okay.
Number 16 is a resolution to appoint a water plant operator. We have someone working for the town right now who has his water operator license, and we'd like to tentatively put him in to set us up, because we know that our water plant operator is retiring sometime this year, and I do not want to be in the same situation we are in at our wastewater plant.
Sure.
We want to have people waiting in line and working side by side so that we have seamless transition.
So wouldn't the number 2 person step up and then kind of backfill, or no?
Yes. Yeah, so
Okay.
this person we have 3 operators normally at the water plant. So this would be one of the operators, not the senior operator,
Okay.
and then backfill. Seventeen is a resolution to appoint either a mechanic or a trainee at the sewer treatment plant. We have an opening that was left by someone who took a job somewhere else. In the past, we've had either a trainee or a mechanic. It's the same pay scale. It's really just in name. So we advertised for that. We're waiting to see if anyone will take us up on that. We do have someone in the water and sewer crew that is interested in moving to that position. So I'll be working with Paul to try to see if we can make that work. So 18.
I'm sorry, Matt, while you're still on 17 and talking about the wastewater treatment plant, as we all know, I wasn't here the other night. I heard a lot of things about people knowing where I was and other things, but one of the things I heard was that 18-wheelers will be delivering the soda water to the wastewater treatment plant. I've seen pictures of the trucks. I've talked to the folks at the trucks. Looks like it's 8 wheels to me. Do you have some sort of information that the town board does not have about this, and perhaps the residents do?
I have the same information that you have. It's an
It's an 8-wheel truck?
Well, it's a tanker truck that has,
8 wheels. Yeah, I have the pictures and the stuff so you've not been told 18 wheels or any other number of wheels?
I have the same information that you have.
Okay, thank you.
I had a sewer plant operator. Was it on here? If it isn't.
Yes, it's, we did water plant operator,
Yeah, there's a sewer.
sewer plant operator too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of our chief plant operator is retiring at the end of April, I would like to, I'm currently advertising, and I have an interview set up with someone to come in this week. Hopefully we can hire an operator to slide into the progression. Our current senior operator is slotted to go to chief, and then because it's difficult to find someone with a proper license to be either a senior or a chief, I put a pretty broad request out for anyone with an operator's license, either 2 or 3, which would put them in the running to be at least an operator at our plant. And if they wanted to progress to a 3A license, then they could be a senior. So we're going to empty, our chief's going to go away. Our senior is going to take over for the chief. It's going to leave an open senior position, but I highly doubt I'm going to find someone that has the qualifications. We've advertised for everything from just an operator to a senior. If someone comes in with a senior qualifications, we'll hire them.
Mhm.
But at the least, I'd like to get someone with an operator and then put them in line to progress them along.
They'd be able to get the certifications if they came and stayed with us? Is that how that would
Yeah,
work?
it's, you have to work at a plant that has a certain grade for a year. So he may have, the one guy I'm going to be interviewing, I think it's tomorrow, he has the education, he just doesn't have the time at the plant. So if we were to hire him as a 2A, he would work at our plant for up to a year and then would be eligible to progress to a 3A license, which would then make him applicable for our chief, or I'm sorry, our senior.
And then if they do get to that level, is there more compensation that goes with that?
Yes, yeah, it's part of the contract. They're part of the negotiating the bargaining unit, so they follow what the contract says. So he would be at a lower scale until he learns and gets the experience.
Room for moving up here.
Yeah, the operators are very hard to find. It's a very unique skill set.
How are the positions being advertised? Are they advertised individually, or do you have a, one advertisement with the different opportunities available
Yes,
at
we have-
water and
We have
sewer?
a separate ad for each position. It's in the Gazette, it's in the Times Union, it's on monster.com, it's on indeed.com. It's in a couple other trade publications. So we've gotten the word out, and then we direct everyone to our webpage where we have the detailed information for each position. So let's see what we leave off. 18 is a van, purchase of a van for use by the water and sewer crew. It was a budgeted item. Mini bid is out right now. We'll have results very shortly. It's for our our water meter clerk. When he goes and changes meters, and having an open pickup truck was just not a good fit for his job. '19 is a resolution to award a contract for the construction of the shared building to be used by the transfer station and Blatnick Park with the bathrooms. I have one quote from a contractor. I've attempted to get quotes from additional contractors, and I don't know if it's a big enough job and people aren't interested. But I will keep trying and get the information. I'm very happy with the quote that I do have, though.
No, good.
Below what you thought budgeted or what you were thinking, or,
Yes,
yeah?
it's funny. It's turning out to be much cheaper to do it this way than to do like a pre-assembled building. It's going to save quite a bit of money.
Great.
20 is a resolution to purchase materials. We're hiring the contractor, and then we're going to provide the materials for them to do the work. The trusses and the metal roof and some of the other plywood and lumber that is associated with the project, I'd like to group that together and just try to find one or two. I have prices from multiple vendors. So I'd like to just try to bunch that together to economy of scale. So I need a resolution to award that. And then 21 was a similar resolution for the electrical components for the project. We could just roll that into the other resolution, just do one resolution.
Okay.
Any questions?
No?
Thanks
A
for
Thank you.
lot,
that.
Matt.
Yeah, it's a lot
Thank
going
you.
on.
Ray Smith?
22 is a resolution to purchase mowers off a state contract for use in the Parks Department. This is something that we discussed during budget time and moving forward. 23, a resolution, do you want to scratch that one? Because we took care of that already
Yeah.
in finance.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, scratch 23. 24, a resolution to purchase a truck for use by the Highway Department. This one would be off Onondaga County bid. We found it, it's for, we can take possession of it immediately upon approving this for use in the Highway Department. Number 25 is a resolution for the sale of certain surplus equipment in the highway department. As we have the trucks coming in, we've been getting rid of the old ones, so that's the process that we're doing.
You've had good success with that though, right?
We have.
Because your trucks are worth a lot when you're putting them back
This
out of the
group
market.
is like the bottom of the barrel, but we still bring pretty good yields in from our equipment. A couple of these are unrepairable. That's why we asked to replace them. One has a bad frame, but the other few are pretty decent. I think they'll bring decent money. Number 20, that one I did. 26, a resolution authorize the supervisor to enter in a MOA with the Highway Department union. This is for creation of a position within the maintenance department up here at Town Hall. It's basically a transfer from the highway up to here and a backfill on the bottom end at the highway. The union's been involved in this throughout the whole process, and this is just the finalization of that. Any questions?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Sebesta.
Okay, 27 is a resolution to make budgetary modifications. There is one for 2018, I believe the last for that year, and a few for 19, primarily the additional unanticipated cost of hauling sludge due to the dryer fire at the wastewater treatment plant, which is going to go on for a bit of time. They projected a few months out, so hopefully that will cover us. It's hard to say then when the dryer is going to be replaced.
So it's an estimate what we have right now for the
It is.
figure.
It may go, we may need more.
Hopefully we'll
It
need
isn't
less.
It isn't just bringing us to date, though. It is projecting out a few months. It's a big number. Okay, and 28 and 29, I have not had an opportunity to put the time in to make those projections and put all of that we discussed the last round into place. So the tentative is correct. We need
So,
more
but
time.
Paul, if we're not ready for it, do you want to wait? I don't
This
want
month
this to
is-
keep going on and on. This was
Right.
something that the town board asked you to do. Yasmin has stepped up and tried to offer
Kind of
some thoughts.
volunteered to do
I have,
it.
yes, I have met with you repeatedly on it.
Mhm.
No one is trying to slow this down, to
No,
stop this,
no,
to
no.
block this, to feed into a narrative that doesn't exist. If this is not ready, because you're unable to give us the information and it's not where you would like it to be,
Mhm.
and as our CFO, I think, it needs to be where you want it to be. Should we pull this, Paul, instead of having this
Well, that's
ongoing?
fine. I really do think.
What do you think
It
is
needs to be
best?
done before we get into the budget process. That's my only concern.
Okay,
That's
that's
the dead, the drop dead date. But this month is particularly bad. This is the month that the annual update document is filed with the Comptroller's Office. It's due April 30th. So that's the primary focus and has to be. We have weeks left to get that done.
Right.
So Paul, are you asking us to wait on this?
I am.
Okay.
I can push for next month. I mean, I hate to keep
Okay, but we
seeing
would
it.
need a series of meetings. You would need to give us a
Right.
document. Yasmin and I would need to meet with you and discuss it. We would need to send it to the
That's
entire
true.
town board. So that's kind of the
So-
process
Shooting for June probably would be more realistic.
that's fine, whatever is best for you.
And-
But
and
I
in
just
May
don't
is-
want to read somewhere that we're stopping something because
No.
it's actually something that the town board members asked you to do. So,
And it's desirable. So May would be the month to circulate some draft policies and
Great.
board to review and consider.
Do we have any big bonding items before then?
No, we're
They're
done.
No, we're
nothing big,
done.
no.
We're done.
What does
We're
affect this is when you go out for a serial bond to the, public market. What I do need to do is bond the $1 million that we just approved recently, and that's going to be a local offering to, whether it's First National or Chase, or I've connected with an old banker at a bank in, excuse me, Greene County that's been very competitive and won the last one. So they don't even look at bond ratings. They know Niskayuna and are very comfortable with our status. So no is the answer. It's not.
Not for
it
$1
has
million
no
thing,
im-
it's not going to make a lot.
No
of
impact
difference. Right.
whatsoever.
Okay. So you're asking us to wait, to be
Wait.
clear one more time.
Patience is a
Thank you,
virtue.
Paul. And we appreciate your efforts,
Mm.
everyone's efforts. John has been very involved in this, Yasmin, everyone, so thank you.
My preference when this comes back is that it go through finance, whether it's the regular finance committee meeting or if it's later in the month when we all come to agreement that we set up another special finance committee meeting. I just want to make sure that it goes through a finance committee meeting before
Sure.
it comes to the full board meeting.
Yeah, I think it deserves the attention of a special meeting myself,
Or just a longer meeting, that's fair.
Mhm.
or a longer meeting
Yep.
with a
Yep.
block of time just to
Yeah.
focus on this.
That would be great, Paul. Thank you.
Okay, and 30, I think, is being pulled because of lack of a candidate.
What's the set of salary
So
schedule?
far- Yeah, it's tentative.
Oh,
We'll
it
we'll
is.
see what happens.
Oh, okay.
We're evaluating. And then there is one of yours that was on Finance Committee. It did not make it to this agenda, and that was the resolution to renew the software licensing agreement
Correct.
for your office. So we'll add that one as well.
Okay.
Oh, two of them.
Um,
No, 'cause that would be
That's it.
authorization. Yeah, so that one's all done.
Okay.
And I think that was the only addition for yours.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Chief
So
McManus.
I'm sorry, let's go back to 30. So Yasmin, do you think you're going to have,
I believe I will.
are you interviewing
Yes.
more candidates? I
Yes.
think what I'd like to be able to do, because I guess, why don't you step back for a second and just, when did you interview candidates the first time? I mean, this is another one of these things that I wasn't here at the last meeting and I heard a lot of things.
Mhm.
So when did you, we knew that Andrew wasn't coming back over the Christmas break. And then when did you start interviewing candidates and put out word for?
Ooh, I'd have to check my timeline.
I
I
know,
believe it
can't
was
remember.
fairly
I'm not asking a
quick.
rhetorical question. I just
Yeah.
can't remember.
Offhand, I'd have to say, if I'm estimating, it was within a couple weeks.
I thought it was later
Um,
in the month. I thought it was after our first meeting that we
I think it was
started, but let's,
I believe it was mid-month, so
Okay.
I'd have to check on that. But those started in earnest. We had 28 candidates, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head. Interviewed 7 to 9. Of that group, I narrowed it down to 3. I did give preference to any individuals who lived within the town. Of those 3, chose one that I felt was the most qualified for the position, had a wealth of experience in that function, serving as an executive admin. And so that was the candidate.
and so in the intervening time in that, I think at some point we asked for a job description.
Yes,
And then we also just asked for the same materials that we got for the grant writer.
correct.
There was
Yep.
no objection to this. I actually turned to you in this and said, just give us the
Yeah,
resumes.
I
and
was
we'll get
willing
it
to
done next
provide all
month.
the information that
Right.
was requested. Yep,
Right.
I provided a job description and every single one of the resumes that were submitted
Sure. And that's what we did and
Mm-hmm.
Paul did the same thing. So it wasn't
for the grant writer.
for the grant writer.
Correct.
That was exactly what we did. So we'll just set a salary. Can we set a salary of 50 and just then if you have someone and then we're not going
Right.
through this whole thing again of you seeing all the people you interview and
I don't know if we can set a salary without, can we set a salary for a title without a person?
Yes.
Okay,
Right. Because
so that's something that we can do.
we just want to facilitate this happening, so
wanna
we're not
open the
going
law.
another month
Okay.
without having somebody upstairs for you
Okay,
on your staff.
then I can
and that
put
was
that in.
about what Bigness made, geez, that's about what you make. It's certainly what Briggs makes.
Sadly,
It's a lot more,
yes.
so that's a pretty that's a pretty decent salary for
Are
an
we-
assi- for
Are we going to have a
really good
range or
assistant.
we're just going
Paul-
to say 50?
Paul would like to say something, yes, Paul.
Would like to make one comment that this position has typically been a graded position. And if you say 50,
Right,
that's definitely not in any slot in any grade.
Okay,
So if you'd want to.
Okay.
you want to
Oh,
give us a
wait.
grade number? Right.
I want you to know that by saying 50, you're saying, what I hear is it's going to be just 50 and reevaluated every year and not on a step schedule. So you have to decide if you want it off the salary schedule or on the salary schedule.
All right, so why
Not
don't we
mine.
have a ballpark, and then why don't we just figure it out, Paul?
Yeah.
We can do what we've done in other meetings, where you, Yasmin, and I sat down and you walked us through the
You can just look at the
charts.
matrix
Is
and
that fair?
you can find
Yeah,
a
I
number
think,
close to 50.
right. And
fine.
Paul makes a good point, because if you have a range of the equivalent of what this grade and step is going to
Exactly.
be, that will point us exactly to.
And that was
What his
exactly what
salary's gonna be.
I was just throwing a number out there,
Right.
because
Uh,
I
Right.
think all the steps leading to this were very, very reasonable. No one was
Okay.
blocking anything. No one was hurting anyone's feelings. We just wanted a job description and who was interviewed. So to avoid all of this one more time, let's the three of us sit down. You can get out the chart, you can point at a number, and
Right.
we can then, how's that?
Or you can just say a flat 50. I mean, that's your,
No, I
Yeah.
don't
No,
want
right.
this to be different
All
than
right.
anybody else in
It's
town
hard.
hall. Why would it possibly be? It is a different position, though. It does not serve the entire town. It.
Well, it
works very
does. Of course it does.
But it
That
doesn't in
position
the same way.
serves, it serves everybody, every department head, every town board member. That's how it's always been. That's how it's always going to be. This person has served everyone at town hall.
that's all I wanted to.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Okay. Can we move on to Chief McManus?
Good evening. Number 31 is a ceremonial resolution recognizing Police Week. This year, it's May 12th through the 18th. Resolution gives the town board the opportunity to recognize the police department officers killed in the line of duty over the past year, as well as their families and all who sacrificed for it. So I'll have some numbers to put in with regards to how many officers were killed in the line of duty and that kind of thing for the resolution. It's something we do annually, except for last year. I think that one got past me. So we can start the tradition again.
Okay,
Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Lori.
Okay, number 32 is a resolution appointing summer and fall independent contractors. It's the beginning of the big season, and this is going to be my big list for all the people that are running our spring and summer camps for me. Questions? No? And the next one's a resolution to accept the SIP
It
grant
says
award.
summer and fall on here, though.
Well, I have to.
You're going to
tie
add
in-
the soccer
The
and stuff?
soccer,
Yep,
fall
okay.
soccer, yeah, we only
Okay,
have one
yep.
program. And we were awarded $1,500 from the county for our SIP grant, so this is just asking to accept the money. And I did have to add one other thing. I needed 2 more additional employees at the driving range that were on my list from the month prior, and I'd like to add those on as well.
Okay.
Yes, and I believe in that resolution, we're also going to add one other highway
Yes, yep,
employee. So that will
I'll add
be
'em
one
onto the list.
resolution.
Perfect.
Thank you, because
Okay.
that's somebody who's coming home and we can put them out on the street.
Awesome.
Okay, great, thank you.
And as far as the ceremonials, Lisa, did you want me to say anything about those, or?
And we're going to do a
They're on the
ceremonial
list.
for.
Yeah, but I
boys
didn't know
swimming.
if you wanted me
Sure.
to speak.
Oh. Yeah, I don't see, yeah, it's the last one. So are you also going to speak on the Lions Park train station?
No, you know what? I printed my resolution from earlier, so I have. one
Okay,
that-
so you don't have the updated.
I don't have the updated one.
agenda. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that's an addition.
yeah, go ahead, talk about boys swimming.
Okay, whatever number, I have it as 33, is a ceremonial resolution to honor the Niskayuna Boys Varsity Swim Team. And also a ceremonial resolution to honor science award winners.
Okay, we're going to move that one to May.
Oh, okay.
For the Science Bowl winners, and we're going to do the boys swimming this month, and there's another resolution for the annual Lions Park train station
Okay, yeah.
with Maureen Souza. I mean, that's something that we do every year.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's on your agenda. So it's not. So
I don't know when I printed this, but.
No, just earlier today. Science Bowl, they're not done. They go to DC over
Got it.
spring break. So
Got it.
there's a
Okay.
chance
Right.
for more accolades for the Science Bowl kids. we
right.
talked
So
to the
that's a
teachers.
story that's still being written.
All right.
Yep.
A
Yeah.
resolution
Time
is
to
still
put
being
it.
written.
All right,
Right.
thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Lori. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Paul Burns.
I have two additions.
Two.
I just remembered another one.
Oh.
We have a fence agreement, and we also have a potential outside user sewer agreement,
Okay.
both coming out of Public Works. I'm sure the fence agreement, the outside user, I probably will have ready also.
Okay.
Just quickly on number 30, and I think it is important that we kind of clear the air on this. The title of the position for number 30 does not suggest that it works for the town. It's a confidential secretary to the supervisor. I think one of the issues that we had with the salary and why we insisted on a job description for the new confidential secretary is that the last one did not, in my opinion, serve the town. It certainly did not serve me as a town board member because I could not get much of any reply or response. So if we're going to set a salary schedule before we get a job description, I'm okay with that. But I think we have to have that dichotomy kind of clear. Is this person going to be responsive to the town board and the supervisor, or is it just going to be a confidential secretary to the supervisor? Because the salary should reflect that. I mean, I don't pay my secretary at my office $50,000 plus healthcare benefits and retirement and the like. So if it's just somebody that's going to be working for you, I don't think $50,000 is appropriate. I think it's excessive, but that's kind of what we got to figure out here.
Okay. Well, those are discussions that we can continue to have. I wish I actually had historical information as to what the confidential secretary to the supervisor and later on who was promoted to director of operations was making, which is well over $50,000. So if this is exorbitant, then I'd like to know what you thought of what that person was making. The title also belies the fact that this person does serve the town board, does serve all the department heads. And the job description that I provided to you stated as such that this person would work for everyone, and that was made abundantly clear. So it looks like we're going to have some more discussions about this.
Yeah, because I didn't
We
get
did
that
get-
impression from the last confidential secretary. Previously, we have had people fill that role that were administrative assistants, and they had a different title than confidential secretary, but
But we're making,
yes.
That
So
salary.
that, if we have the job description that matches up with something and is in fact responsive to town board members, then certainly they should get a salary that reflects that.
And the supervisor gave it. I'm sure she'll be happy to send it to you again, but she did. Some of it was, we had discussed, the farm market and other things, so.
okay. Do you need any further clarification before we move on?
I don't.
Okay. I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn if someone would like to make that motion.
So moved.
All right, I will second that. All in favor signified by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Have a good evening, everyone.